The lithium in your car battery was not dug out of a mine. It was pumped out of the ground as salt water and then left standing in the sun for up to 18 months. Roughly 1 part in 500 of that water is lithium. Everything else has to go, and that is the whole story. Start in the Salar de Atacama in northern Chile. Under the cracked white crust of that salt flat sits a layer of brine, salt water that has been trapped underground for a very long time. Companies like SQM and Albemarle drill wells down into it. A pump lifts the brine to the surface. In the richest part of that flat, the brine carries around 1,800 parts per million of lithium, which is about 0.2% by weight. 0.2%. So how do you get from that to the powder inside a battery cell? You do not boil it, you wait. The brine is pumped into the first pond. A pond is a shallow rectangle scraped into the salt flat, lined with plastic, roughly a meter deep and the size of several football pitches. The desert air is dry and the sun is relentless, so water leaves the surface all day long. As the water leaves, the salts left behind get more concentrated. When one of those salts reaches its limit, it drops out and settles on the floor of the pond. Then the brine is pumped into the next pond, and the next. That cascade is the machine. Each pond is tuned so that a different salt falls out of it. Sodium chloride goes first, ordinary table salt. Then potassium salts, which get harvested and sold as fertilizer. Then magnesium and boron compounds. Lithium is the most stubborn of the group, so it stays dissolved while everything around it crystallizes out. Over 12 to 18 months, the lithium concentration climbs from about 0.2% to roughly 6%, and the liquid turns that famous yellow-green. So the ponds are not extracting lithium, they are subtracting everything else. But one thing refuses to leave, and it is the reason this process is hard: magnesium. Chemically, magnesium sits very close to lithium in size and in behavior, which means it follows lithium through step after step like a shadow. In some brines, there is more than 10 times as much magnesium as lithium. The higher that ratio, the more expensive the whole operation becomes. And it is one of the numbers that decides whether a salt flat is worth developing at all. So the concentrated brine leaves the ponds and goes into a chemical plant. First, milk of lime is stirred in. That is calcium hydroxide, the same material used in mortar. The lime forces the remaining magnesium out of solution as magnesium hydroxide, a pale sludge that sinks. The sludge is filtered off. What is left behind is a clean lithium chloride solution. Then the solution is heated and soda ash goes in. Soda ash is sodium carbonate, the same compound used in glass making and in washing powder. The carbonate finds the lithium and locks onto it. Lithium carbonate is one of the few lithium compounds that does not like being dissolved, and it likes it even less in hot water, so it falls out of the liquid as a fine solid. That solid is filtered, washed, and dried. The result is a white powder, lithium carbonate, reported at around 99.5% purity. Overall recovery varies a lot between operations, and a large share of what is lost never reaches the plant at all. It stays behind in the ponds. Here is the part that surprises most people. The 18 months are not a delay in the process. They are the process. Solar evaporation is doing the work that a furnace would otherwise have to do, and the sun does not send an invoice. The moment you try to speed that up, you have to buy the energy yourself, and the economics of the entire operation change shape. If you want to know how the machines and the processes behind your electricity, your heating, and your car actually work, that is what this channel takes apart, one at a time. Subscribing costs you nothing and keeps the next one in front of you. So the next time you hold a battery, think about what it took. No drill bit through rock, no blasting, no tunnel, a pump, a plastic pond, and a 1.5 years of sunshine.